I'll go for some numericals of the first law of electrochemistry, that is first law of electrolysis. Then we'll start the second law of electrolysis. Last class I told what is the Faraday's first law of electrolysis, that is the amount of substance deposited or liberated at electrode is directly proportional to the charge flow through it. And then already we have discussed the equation for the first law is W is equal to ZQ, or you can write that is your ZIQ. And already I told also what is Z. Z is your equivalent mass by 96500. So this is the Z. We have discussed this. Let's say I want to calculate the Z value of copper in copper sulfate solution. So how to calculate the Z value of copper in copper sulfate solution? We know the Z is your equivalent mass by 96500. So in the copper sulfate solution, first of all I want to find out what is the equivalent mass of copper. So in copper sulfate, if I want to ionize by passing the electricity, it gives copper 2 plus SO4 2 minus. So the equivalent mass of copper will be the atomic mass of copper by valency of copper. Here the valency of copper is 2. So equivalent mass is your atomic mass of copper is 63.5 by valence is 2. So that is your 31.7. So I can say 1 gram equivalent mass is equal to 31.75 gram. Remember, 1 gram equivalent mass of substance deposited if you pass 1 Faraday charge. Already we have discussed this part also in the last class. Now I want to find out what will be the Z or electrochemical equivalent mass of what is the Z or electrochemical equivalent of it. Now I told if I want to pass 1 Faraday charge, that is your 96500 coulomb charge, then the amount of copper will be deposited is 31.75 gram. So this is the amount of copper deposited. So if I pass 1 coulomb charge, then the amount of copper deposited is 31.75 by 96500, this gram copper. So this is the gram of copper deposited for 1 coulomb charge. So I can say its Z value is your 31.75 by 96500 gram per coulomb. So this is the formula I am using here. So what is the equivalent mass? Already I have calculated, that is 31.75 divided by 96500. So that is the Z, means the electrochemical equivalent of copper in copper sulfate. Similarly, if the question will become like this, let's say you are taking one of the electrolytic cell, and this electrolytic cell consists of zinc sulfate as an electrolyte, and you are passing the current of, let's say, 2 ampere for the time of 30 minutes. And you want to find out how much amount of zinc will be deposited at electrode. Then again we can use the first law of electrolysis. How? Because we want to find out the amount of zinc deposited, so that is the W we want to calculate. So we can put this formula, that is W is equal to Z into I into T. And what is the formula of Z I told? That is the equivalent mass by 96500 into I into T. So here I want to find out the amount of zinc deposited, so I will calculate the equivalent mass of zinc. In zinc sulfate solution, if I want to ionize, it gives Zn2 plus SO4 2 minus. So what will be the equivalent mass of zinc? The atomic mass of zinc is 65 by valence is 2, so that is your 32.5. So equivalent mass of zinc is 32.5. So I will write that is 32.5 by 96500 into I is the charge, I is the amount of current flow, and what is the amount of current flow? Is the 2 ampere, into T is the time in second. Here I have taken 30 minutes, I will convert into second, so that is your 30 into 60. So on calculating all of it, what is the amount you will get? So this gram of zinc will be deposited. So like that we can do some numericals. by using the first law of electrolysis. Now I'll go for the second law of electrolysis. So what is the Faraday's second law of electrolysis? The Faraday's second law of electrolysis is when two or more electrolytic cells are connected in a series. So here we will connect two or more than two electrolytic cells are connected in a series. So they should have a series connection. Cells are connected in a series, then the amount of substance deposited or liberated is directly proportional, that should be directly proportional to its equivalent mass. So that is the second law. The second law told two or more electrolytic cells, when we connect them in a series by passing a constant amount of charge, then the amount of substance deposited at electrode should be directly proportional to its equivalent mass. So how is it? Let's say I am taking the two electrolytic cells. This is one electrolytic cells, consists of, let's say, here the electrolyte is, let's say, zinc sulfate. I am taking the two electrode here. Another electrolytic cell I am taking here. Let's say it consists of copper sulfate and consists of two electrode, and we want to connect these two electrolytic cell in a series connection. So here I will make a series connection. So in the series connection, the positive end is connected to the negative end. Now this is the positive end of battery and it is connected to this electrode. So this electrode becomes positive charge. This is the negative end of the battery, so it is connected to this. So this electrode is your negative charge. So electron flow will be in this direction. As it releases electron, so this is the part of oxidation. So here it is a anode, and it accepts electron. So this is the part of reduction. So this is your cathode. Now both the cells are in a close connection, and it becomes a closed circuit. Then the electrons start to flow from this electrode to this electrode. So here the electron release. So this is the oxidation part. So this is act as anode, and this is act as cathode. So now it becomes a series connection. Now what will happen according to the second law of electrolysis? This cathode electrode is your negative charge, and here the anode electrode is your positive charge. So when the zinc sulfate start to ionize in the cell number A, and this is, let's say, cell number B. So when the zinc sulfate start to ionize, it gives Zn2 plus SO4 2 minus. Now the Zn2 plus will migrate towards the cathode, because cathode is the negative charge. So when the Zn2 plus migrates towards the cathode, then what will happen? The Zn2 plus undergoes reduction reaction and will be converted to zinc and will be deposited on the surface of cathode. Similarly, at the anode, what will happen? We are taking the we will not go for the anode. We will discuss about the cell B first. Similarly, in the cell B, what will happen? In the copper sulfate, it start to dissociate, gives Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus. So at the cathode of copper sulfate electrolytic cell, the copper 2 plus start to undergoes reduction and will be deposited as in the form of copper. So in first electrolytic cell at cathode, when zinc start to deposit it, at the second electrolytic cell at cathode, copper will be deposited, and the amount of charge flow through it is, let's say, Q. So when we will pass the Q amount of charge for both the cell, at cathode of first cell zinc deposited, at cathode of the second cell copper deposited, but the amount of zinc and amount of copper will not same, because the amount of zinc and amount of copper deposited depend upon its equivalent mass. So what is the equivalent mass of zinc? We know the equivalent mass of zinc is, let's say, E1 I have written, is that is atomic mass is 65 by valency of zinc in zinc sulfate is 2, so that is divided by 2, so that is your 32.5. And equivalent mass of copper is, let's say, E2. What is the atomic mass of copper? That is 63.5 divided by its valency in copper sulfate, that is 2, so that is your 31.75. So we got that the equivalent mass of copper is less than the equivalent mass of zinc. So when I will pass the Q amount of charge, you observe that the amount of zinc deposited should be more than the amount of copper deposited. Why? Because the zinc equivalent mass is more than the copper equivalent mass. So at a particular charge, the amount of zinc will be more than the copper. For example, let's say I told if you pass 1 Faraday charge, then what is the amount of substance deposited? It is equal to its equivalent mass. So I am passing 1 Faraday charge here. Let I am passing the 1 Faraday charge here. So if I pass 1 Faraday charge, then the zinc will be deposited 32.5 gram, whereas the copper will be deposited 31.75 gram. So that indicates that the amount is directly proportional to the equivalent mass. The amount is directly proportional to the equivalent mass. So now I can say the relation is that is W. If zinc deposited is, let's say, W1 gram and the copper deposited is, let's say, W2 gram. So if I am passing 1 Faraday charge, the amount of zinc deposited is 32.5 gram. If I want to pass the 2 Faraday charge, the amount of zinc deposited will be double of it. So that indicates when I will increase the amount of charge, the amount of substance deposited is also increases. But remember, that amount should be present in the electrolyte. If the electrolyte should not contain this amount of substance, then whatever may be the charge you will pass, this amount of substance will not able to deposit it. So here I can say, if I will pass 1 Faraday charge, if 32.5 gram deposited zinc, then 31.75 gram copper deposited. If I will pass 2 Faraday charge, it becomes double. So I can say here W is proportional to E. So for the first cell I can say W1 is proportional to E1. Similarly I can say W2 is proportional to E2. So that indicates if I want to combine these two, W1 is proportional to E1 and W2 is proportional to E2. So that implies I can write what is W1 by W2. So W1 by W2 is equal to E1 by E2. So this is the second law of electrolysis. So second law of electrolysis told W1 by W2 is equal to E1 by E2. Now I will go for the combination of the first and second law of electrolysis. So how we can combine the first law with the second law of electrolysis? According to the first law, we know what is W. W is proportional to Q. So that implies I can write W is equal to ZQ. So that implies I can write W is equal to ZQ. Now as it is combined with the second law, so that indicates that we should take more than one cell because it should have a series connection. So if I will take more than one cell, but the charge should be same for both the cells. So Q will be constant, but Z will not constant because depending upon the electrolyte, the Z value will be different. For example, if you take the zinc sulfate solution and you will take the copper sulfate solution in the two electrolytic cell, the Z value for zinc and Z value of copper are different because Z value depend upon the equivalent mass and the equivalent mass for zinc and copper are different. So Z value will be different. And so I can write what will be W1. W1 is equal to Z1Q. Similarly, I can write what is W2. W2 is equal to Z2Q. So that is with respect to first law. So we can write what is W1 by W2. So W1 by W2 is equal to Z1 by Z2. Similarly, if I will go for the second law of electrolysis, according to the second law, what can I write? W1 by W2 is equal to E1 by E2. So if I want to combine both these, then I can write W1 by W2 is equal to Z1 by Z2 is equal to E1 by E2. So this is the combination of first law with the second law of electrolysis. So on the next class we will go for rest part of the electrochemistry.